This is Steve Leone from Renewable Energy World. We're in the event broadcast booth at Intersolar North America 2011. I have as my guest right now, Jayesh Goyal, Vice President of Sales for Areva Solar. Thank you, Jayesh, for joining us.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, so Jayesh, hoping you could give us a brief overview of CSP and where we are over the past year. There seem to have been a lot of developments on a lot of fronts, and see if you can encapsulate some of that for us.
Sure, I could talk for hours on that topic, but let's try and cover it in a few minutes. I think the interesting developments in the CSP space are the entrance of the large players. When Areva acquired Ostra last year, we were one of the few companies that was entering this space, the large industrial players. Since then, we've seen several other moves. We've seen ABB enter the space. We've seen GE also entering the space. So we are seeing a lot of other large entrants here. So that's one very interesting development for the space. And I think it's a major factor contributing to its growth. The other thing you are seeing is that many governments around the world are promoting policies now for CSP. So you are seeing markets that like India, like Morocco, like Australia, like South Africa, all promoting CSP. And as a result, you're seeing a lot of activity in those markets. In the US, there's also been a lot of interest. I think the perception has been that in the US that CSP will not be able to compete with PV. And I don't quite share that opinion. I feel that we can compete in this market as well. And we also think that not just in the standalone power plants, but also in the ability for CSP to provide steam to existing plants, there's a huge market opportunity.
I mean, is that the short-term future for CSP right now, is the combination with natural gas?
Well, in the short term, I'd say that the economics of those kinds of projects tend to be really attractive. And so for utilities that are extremely price conscious and are looking for a fast way to meet their RPS targets at a low cost, certainly those kinds of solutions where you're adding a CSP solar field to an existing plant are very attractive. But even then, even for standalone plants, I think we have competitive solutions. And certainly outside the US, we are seeing a lot of interest in those plants as well.
Okay, so utility acceptance is really driving this in a place like Australia, where you've had Solar Dawn consortium coming online?
Yes, we are very excited about the projects that we just announced in Australia, and the 250 megawatt project that we announced there, it's being supported by the Australian government as well as the state of Queensland. And we are seeing government policy, of course, helping out, but we are also seeing that there is a carbon tax policy, for example, being instituted in that country. And that's driving the utilities to look for more renewable energy solutions. So that's driving it. And we are also seeing that by you doing a hybrid solution, you can lower the costs even further. And that makes it a very attractive proposition.
Okay, so as more of these kind of big projects come online, is that going to make it easier for the industry to kind of sell itself to utilities as that's CSP as being a good solution?
Yes, I think that obviously utilities are very conservative and they like to see solutions that have been working for a while before they go in for widespread adoption. So having a few successful projects actually being implemented is important. And I think as these large projects that are being announced right now actually get built and start producing power, you are going to see much more adoption of these technologies.
Okay, thank you, Jayesh, for taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you very much, Steve. Pleasure speaking with you.